that you're facing some problems. Let's get to them. She shared the questions that you have for me, but if you'd like to just start with the ones that are important to you first.
So I had listed down the top three troubles that I've had. I didn't write something that was very particular to just this time around because I've been in this process for about more than a year. So I just, that was overarchingly a problem that was recurring. First and foremost, it's the focus and the concentration. I thought in about 6-8 months of coming back to studying, I'll be able to build that up, but that's actually not happening. I still can't sit beyond 25 minutes or like 30 minutes in one session. I have to like get up, take a 10-minute break. Otherwise, there's absolutely like I can see the accuracy falling immediately after that if I try and push through. Even with the exam, the mocks, I think the clock running and the adrenaline helps, but it's literally just the time around that time that I'm able to sit through. Otherwise, in practice sessions, I'm just not able to do that. That in turn ends up, I think, affecting my consistency also a bit, the number of hours I'm able to push through the day. My saturation levels just get hit very quickly. I'm not able to build an intuition towards it. What I mean by intuition is that sometimes we get questions that we might not have seen, or it's like a little trickier version of what I would have seen. So I'm not able to make that connection as like, oh, I can solve this that way and approach it instantly, especially during like a 2 to 5 minute time period. If I'm sitting with that question for 30 minutes, I'll be able to do it. But for in that 2 minute, 3 minute sort of a setup, if I've not seen the question, I'm just very clueless with it. So what happens is that specifically for this time, I'm able to solve like tougher questions because we get those in the documents and I've seen them. But if there's a similar question with like a little more information given or written a different way, which is easier, I'll just keep looking at it for 10 minutes, then I'll try and figure something out and write it. But quant, that is just not getting made. And the third one was that, so when the classes get over, I know that there's a study video. I'm not able to make like a study plan that works for me because while I tried last time that I tried giving some more focus to quant and some time to verbal during the day, I feel like once I take a mock, I just don't know how to analyze it because usually I've not seen a pattern. Like in verbal, there was a clear pattern last time that sentence correction was more than 80% of my mistakes.
Focus and concentration and saturation levels that get hit, I think that's an issue that everyone faces, Akshika. I haven't really come across anyone who says he or she is not grappling with it. But there are a few things that you can do that might actually help you to improve it. And honestly, I firmly believe that anything that you can measure, anything that you can track, you can improve, right? So if let's say you're lifting weights in the gym, and if you're tracking like, okay, last week I was able to lift these many kilos, then next week, if you push yourself to, let's say, up it by 250 grams, half a kilo, then that's improvement because, you're able to track it and you mentally also are able to kind of just, come into that frame of mind where you say that, okay, I was able to do it. And what I'm embarking on now is not something that's a monumental challenge. Like it's just incremental challenge here. One, it's about pushing yourself by 5 or 10 minutes every day. It's not about pushing yourself by half hour or 1 hour every day. If you know after half hour, you have to get up and take a break. Next day, you sit down to study for 35 minutes. And the day after that, you sit down and study for 40 minutes. But push yourself at least a little bit every single day so that you're inching closer to the target, which is around, let's say, one and see, even if you can sustain your concentration for about 1 hour, then anyway, the exam also gives you a break of around 5 or 10 minutes. Secondly, there are certain things that actually make you or make anyone saturated. And those are things that are highly stimulatory in nature, right? Like whether you're talking about phone or you're talking about any of the things that you might be doing at work, there are a lot of things that actually lead to overstimulation. And that is why we feel that after a point in time, like I'm just completely zoned out. I can't entertain anything else. What I essentially started doing at that time, and I've been very vocal about it, is that I revamped my daily schedule to essentially place GMAT over before everything else. Before I have to open my phone, emails, client meetings, this and that, I used to essentially put GMAT right on top of the line and started doing that early in the morning. And then did the same thing that I'm talking about, where I pushed myself by about 15 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever time I thought is possible for me, is to try to push myself by that margin. The idea is track, measure, and push yourself by at least like 5 or 7 minutes a day. That will go a long way in helping you to improve your stamina. Have you tried that?
I did try. I mean, I think I did come a long way, but because it's not hitting the mark yet, I don't measure that.
And there should be nothing in your environment. I mean, see, the point is not whether you're picking up your phone to answer it. The point is the phone is there and you have no idea, like the moment it rings, you might feel that, okay, I'm not picking it up. I have got a strong willpower and all of those things. But but your attention does get right and you don't really operate at the same level of efficiency as you could have. So your environment has to be curated in such a way that there is nothing distracting, nothing that will release any kind of dopamine, right? Like there's a book, for instance, that I have on my table right now, which could be distracting to me. There's a phone over there. Like literally, you have to really create that environment for yourself. And that is the short way for you to improve. Although you might not see drastic improvement overnight, but you will find yourself to reach your target within about 2 weeks maximum. And push yourself for 1 hour right now. That's more than sufficient for the focus edition part of it, because the sections are not longer than 60 minutes anyway. So that's fine. The volume of practice that you have to do to understand which concept would apply in a certain type of question is not something that you would have done. And I would like you to, visualize it in this manner. When you learn the concepts, the bubble is huge, right? You've got a big circle that basically is just concepts that you've learned, theoretical knowledge. And when you're solving questions, it's a small bubble because you're starting from the first question, second question, third question. If the bubble of concepts that you have right now is going to be larger than the bubble of questions that you have solved,
that I can refer to, which is slightly easier, so that when I start with the topic, I can do like something easier that immediately helps me apply those concepts and then move on to the
for sure.
harder.
See, there are two things. One is OG, right? OG has questions by like segregated into easy, medium, and hard. And then there is GMAT Club, which also gives you questions in terms of difficulty. And secondly, when it comes to the analysis aspect of it, which you talked about, like I don't know how to analyze the mocks and all, I can walk you through it, right? So once you kind of have taken taken a mock test, you can let me know you've taken it, and I can basically I can tell you like what kind of questions are you supposed to ask when you're going through it. And those questions are kind of very similar to what I mentioned in the study plan video, where you just have to ask yourself, like, why did I make this mistake? Do I not know this concept, or do I not know the application of this concept?